Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-holds-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date with current NHL news, even the controversial. Welcome to the Debate Hockey Podcast with your hosts, Brad Burud and Blake Friars. Good evening. Welcome to the Debate Hockey Podcast. Blake, we're on 152 already. A lot of episodes as we prepare for another NHL season, and lots to talk about in this since our off season is finally over.
Right. Yeah. No. Trying something new, Facebook Live, and some live episodes. So hopefully that goes good.
Yeah, it's something different we wanted to try this year and do it on all the episodes, and we're gonna try to do most of our episodes on Monday nights at 9:00 Central, and there'll be a couple changes maybe because of different life things. If Blake's got a hockey game he's got to do, or I got something, but for the most part, we're gonna shoot for at least 90% of them on Monday nights at 9:00 Central, so all of our listeners can join in then, or catch us on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, all the platforms actually. Yeah. As we release this the following day. Like, we're in season 4 already. Can you believe that it has come to 4 seasons already?
Yeah. How did it start? We were doing games
25 minutes.
Tomorrow's.
Yeah, we were doing play-by-play together, and
then we
argued a lot.
We just debated hockey so much. We're like, hey, we should start a podcast. And then I remember I actually listened back to our first ever podcast, and it was like an awkward 24 minutes long. It's like now we just talk for an hour long each episode. We got good chemistry on the mic, and it's been good.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's a way to vent your hockey opinions and talk and get to know other people, and it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it over the 4 years. It's crazy how quick 4 years have gone and how it's changed from a 20-minute podcast to usually ironically an hour and 7-minute video that we do now. So it's changed a lot. Speaking of changes, we had a couple of changes over the off season. Inside Edge Hockey News has now been changed to Inside Edge Hockey Media Group, a brand new website there. Check that out at insideedgehockeymediagroup.com. We've also updated the Twitter, Facebook, YouTube pages, and now we have a website just for the podcast. Get all the old episodes, download, watch the live one on there. That's at debatehockey.com. So lots of changes over the offseason. That's how we spent our time as we did limited shows during the offseason. Next offseason, I want to do a little bit more, but we'll see. Blake, how was your offseason?
No, it was good. I landed a job in BC with the BCHL. I'm in Salmon Arm, British Columbia right now, working for the Silverbacks. Was lucky enough to land a job doing play-by-play, running their social media, graphics. Pretty cool gig up here. We're in preseason right now. We played 3 games. We're 2-1 so far. So I'm excited to get started for real. Start of October. But yeah, I'm super excited to be on BC. Big Canucks fan. Always wanted to live out west, and to be doing it now, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Beautiful area out there. I love it when I was out there, and you're living on a beautiful part of the country.
Myself every morning I wake up. I mean, you drive up the hill and it's just mountains. It's actually pretty crazy.
Speaking of mountains, I was watching the first Canucks practice, and it looked like OEL was skating up a mountain. Did you happen to see that?
Yeah, I mean, Travis Green's bag skate is it's a different animal. I mean,
he was dead last by a mile, Blake.
Petey puked in his first for his first skate. I think Garland puked. I mean, a lot of first timers don't do very good with that skate. I know JT Miller struggled with it last year, but yeah, it's a tough skate, but I don't think you can really judge a player on one bag skate. But I mean, Vancouver media sure ran with that.
Yeah, I gave someone in Vancouver to start freaking out right away. Like that fan base freaks out all the time.
Ulrich Larson did a interview today, and they
Is he
asked him
still
about it.
winded?
They asked him about it, and he goes, "Yeah, the first thing the guys told me when I came here is stay off Twitter." That's what
Yeah.
they told him. That's how you know media is pretty bad when you got some players saying that. But
Looked like me out there skating is what it looked like, Blake.
I mean,
Ugly.
that was towards the end of the skate though that they caught that
I know.
video. So.
I know. Speaking of,
So,
your Blue Jays, what's going on with your Blue Jays now?
well, I
You just
mean,
split with the Minnesota Twins, one of the worst teams in the American League. Are
yeah,
the wheels off here or what?
that was a golden opportunity to gain some games, but they did end up winning the last two of that series. They got a huge series against the Yankees coming up. They're two back of the Yankees, one back of the Red Sox. Yeah, you basically got to take 2 or 3 versus New York and sweep the Orioles. So my math says that they got to go 5-1 in their next 6.
You think
And
5-1, huh?
and 5-1 or 4-2 if Tampa Bay, like, you have to win the series against Yankees. You have to at least win 2 or 3.
Yep.
Sweep would be perfect. I mean, if they sweep them, they'd be one up on them in the wild card heading into the Baltimore series. But if you take 2 or 3 and sweep Baltimore, at least you give yourself a fighting chance, because after the Yankees play the Blue Jays, they go to they go to Tampa Bay. So they got a tough schedule to close out the year too. So I don't know what's going to happen. It would have been nice to take 3 or 4 from Minnesota to give them a little bit more cushion to work with. But I mean, that they're where you want to be, right? In the playoff race last week of the season, can't get much better than that.
Well, the playoffs basically start now for the Jays. In my mind, I mean,
Oh, the playoffs have been starting for the last 3 weeks.
yeah, this is a
They've been on
3-game.
quite a roll. So
Absolutely. Well, this
yeah.
is my favorite time of year. As you know, the weather is getting a little cooler, even though it was 90 degrees here today, and people are still golfing and everything, which is good because I'm going to get out this week again too. But the weather's getting cooler at night, and it means NHL hockey. It also means playoff baseball, which I know you love. But the beginning of the year is my favorite time of year. The October hockey is the very best. Every franchise has so much anticipation and stuff, and yeah, it's just so much fun to get back. I know a lot of people say the start of the playoffs is the best, but I don't know. I love this time of year, and it's fun to have the show back up and running. And yeah, lots to talk about on today's show as we talk about.
You got an Avalanche shirt on? What are you wearing there?
I got an Avalanche Stadium Series shirt on. Detroit NHL Stadium Series shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. So today on the show, we're going to talk about the wild risk in Minnesota signing Kaprizov. And then we'll talk about the 3 big RFAs. Will they ever sign? Are these guys, what's going on here? Are these guys going to sign or what? Then we'll go around the league, talk about U.S. television troubles, Kokaniemi offer sheet, the Kraken, cross-checking, and yeah, the Unmentionables. All right, Blake, Minnesota Wild.
Yep.
They were, I don't know, I shouldn't. They were struggling cap-wise prior to them signing the Wild signing. I mean, 5 years, $9 million per year for Kirill Kaprizov. Is that out of this world to you as it is me? I can't believe that he got $9 million.
Well, I'll tell you what. They really had no choice.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't.
They had the leverage, Blake.
They had no leverage.
Yes. Don't play them.
You want to bet that he didn't have a deal to go to the KHL? I will promise you he had a deal in his back pocket to go to the KHL and get what he wanted in the NHL.
Go.
Okay, well, the Minnesota Wild, what message does that send to your fans? This kid just came in, lit the league on fire, and now you're going to let him walk to the KHL because you don't want to pay the guy?
Okay, so now next, though. Now think about this, though, Blake. What
It's,
happens
yeah,
when
I'm not saying it's not a risky signing. Like it is. That's a lot of money to give to a guy who just played a shortened season. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but I mean, he's their face of the franchise now. So, I mean, maybe he's not worth $9 million in the first 2 years of his deal, but I mean, yeah, I think he's gonna play into that contract.
But what do you do here though, Blake? Because now you're gonna have the recapture money of Parisi, and
And
Suter,
Suter, yeah.
and this team is going to be literally so cap crunched. Are they going to be able to field a roster around him to be successful? The part that
Yeah,
blows
I mean
my mind.
that's $1 million question. I don't know that answer, but I mean, you look what's going on in Vancouver right now. The fans are on edge. We're going to talk about this later, but I mean, Minnesota fans were the same way when we signed Kaprizov. When's this deal getting done? You had to sign. You had no choice.
But you got to remember though, fans aren't always the smartest though. Like a lot of times we'll live for the now, but we got to think the future because now next year these same fans are going to be like, well, we need more guys with him, like, but we have no cap space. So then what? And do we really know if this guy's a proven top end NHLer? I mean, he's being paid as a top.
And they got to pay Kevin Fiala next year too. Again,
exactly. How does this happen?
Victor Rask is coming off the books. His $4 million. Let's see here. What else we got here? Goligoski's $5 million is off the books. Not much coming off the books, but I mean, they got their guy locked up.
Comes
they
back.
got their, yeah, I know, obviously, yeah. You're paying Parise and Suter 4.7 combined, and then the 3 years after that, 12.7, 14.7, and 14.7. So, yeah, definitely not ideal. But like, I don't even think they can get this deal done if they don't buy out Parise and Suter. Like, I don't think they have the cap to get it done.
And I don't think maybe it was a wrong choice to buy them out. Maybe both of them might have been, but I don't know. I look at this and he's now the 18th highest paid forward in the NHL.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of added pressure to him early because I mean he's going to be expected to produce like a top 20 scorer in the league. So we'll see what this kid does. With this new contract, I think he's going to be fine. I mean, he's a really dynamic player. He's a game breaker, and I think this is going to be a good deal for the Wild. Throughout the 5 years, like I don't think this contract is going to age poorly.
Well, I mean, originally the talk in Minnesota was that the Wild wanted to sign at least a 7 or 8 year deal at 8.5 to 9, which I thought, holy cow! Like I was thinking like a 7 year deal at $6 million. And when I heard that Kirill was just dead set on 9, I thought, well, this guy's not. And if they get this, then I mean, they're gonna. It's
gonna have for the Wild though to go that much dollars and not get the term. Like if you go 9, you want to at least get 6 or 7 years. You don't really see 8-year deals anymore, but I mean, they settle in the middle at 5, and I mean, I think both parties are happy. I mean, Kirill Kaprizov got what he wanted, and Minnesota got their guy locked up. So I think it'll be a good deal for both sides.
Oh, I don't know. I will give it the fact that he's probably the most dynamic player in Minnesota since Marian Gaborik.
I think he's more dynamic than Gaborik, honestly.
And I do too. Although
like
if you ask me, you know what though, Blake, I don't disagree with what you're saying there, but when I look back and the NHL player, and I think of who is probably one of the best skaters I've seen live, and it would be Marian Gaborik.
Yeah, Gaborik had the speed, but Kirill Kaprizov's he's got better vision. I think he's got a better shot. He's obviously got to prove it 100%.
It's going to be interesting. He's only 5'9". I don't know.
He's so shifty though. Like he's hard to hit. He's slippery out there. Like it'll be interesting for sure.
But Blake, if I would have told you that if a guy who's played 1 year in the league, who was not quite close, but not quite a point a game player, would get $9 million, what would you have said?
Okay, well, you're basing that off a 56-game season. Like I believe he would have been over a point a game if he played a full 82, though.
Why? What makes you say that? He wasn't on a 55. What makes you think that?
I don't know, just gut feeling. I think
you have no basis for that. I mean,
I just think that he would have. I don't think he would have fallen off if it was a full season. Like I think he would have kept the pace.
yeah.
So like I said, he's probably the best player to ever wear a Minnesota Wild jersey. Maybe not the best, but definitely the most dynamic. That's for sure.
That's a freaking then Minnesota's really been garbage, because that's a pretty bold statement to say.
Okay, well, who would have been better besides Gabrick? Not Mikko Koivu, not Parise.
No.
Like,
you're probably right. I mean,
I can't name anybody.
Yeah, man. This guy's gonna have so much pressure on him now.
Yeah, he will, and he's either gonna live up to the contract, or it's gonna be a horrible contract. It just going one or two ways.
I don't know. Speaking of horrible contracts, we're going to talk about something I know that's probably a hot spot for you. There's 3 unsigned RFAs right now in the league that stand out, I guess. And all 3 of them are from Canadian markets. 2 of them from Vancouver, 1 from Ottawa. Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, and Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Where are we at with these? Let's talk about them each individually first. And let's start with Brady Tkachuk.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this whole holdout? And how long is Brady Tkachuk?
I don't know what the holdup is for Ottawa. I'm not sure why they're not just paying this guy what he wants for a long-term deal. Like this, guys like Brady Tkachuk do not grow on trees. Like they have $23 million cap space. Like,
yeah, but they have to start paying they have a lot of young prospects they're gonna have to start paying in the next 2 years.
Okay, but Tim Stützle's not up for 2 years.
Okay.
Pinto 2 years.
But if you give Brady Tkachuk too much money, then you're not gonna be able to afford those guys.
They have $23 million cap.
You still have to sign other guys, Blake. You need a team around them.
Next season, they have $40 million cap. Like I don't know what the holdup is here.
Well, so how much would you give them?
I give him 8.5.
Oh my God!
On a long-term deal, yes, 100%. This guy's gifted. He does it all. You want him to fight, he can fight. You want him to score 30 goals, he's going to score 30 goals this year.
Okay, so then what are you going to? You're going to give a winger 8.5, $9 million. Yeah. So how much is Pettersson getting? 10?
I don't know what the comparable is for Pettersson.
Top line center. That's what the comparable is.
I would look at maybe the Rantanen contract, which was 6 years, I think at 9.25.
Yeah. So you're good with
that range.
You're good with 9+.
Yeah, I think he's going to be somewhere in the 8.5 to 9 range. If that's like, what do you think? On like a 5 6 year deal? Do I think he's
worth it? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I think centers are more important than wingers. I like Brady Tkachuk better. I do because he's a bigger, stronger guy. But you can't find centers like you can find wingers.
Right.
So that pushes the envelope on Pettersson. Do I think Pettersson is a top line? He's a first line winger on 70% of the teams in the National Hockey League.
Right.
So that would mean he's a top 10 center in the league. Well, if I was a Canucks fan, I would love to see 8 million for 7 years, whatever. But if he was sitting there saying, I want 9.75, I mean, really, could you argue with him
I
when
mean,
when you're looking at comparables? I mean, and I think if the Canucks have to pay that, they're freaking screwed next year.
well, I mean, did you see the news on Hammock today?
I did see that. I was going to talk about it later, but let's talk about it now.
So Travis Hamonic might be opting out of the season.
Well,
Which
opting out of his career.
or yeah, I mean, he's talking about maybe opting out of the season or retiring. I just said that like because it would definitely affect Hughes and Pedersen's contracts because it would free up $3 million, but it would also leave a hole on that back end.
It would also hurt your back end bad. It
Um,
already or already weak
I just
defense.
like what changed from when you signed a 2-year deal and now. Like I don't understand that timeline that
Well,
you signed a 2-year deal and now all of a sudden you're contemplating retirement. That doesn't make sense to me.
I love Travis Hamonic. I loved him in Calgary. I loved him on the island. I love Travis Hamonic. But when he did not play for the Flames, it made no sense for me. The safest point in the world at that time was the bubble.
Right. Yeah.
And he
I
opted
just
out
don't
of it.
understand the timeline. If something is wrong
And
with,
now he doesn't want to take the vaccine, which I have all the respect for that. That's fine.
is that what I didn't hear if it was
That's
anti-vax or
what I
not.
heard. And
I didn't know.
he's not an anti-vax. He's like I am. I'm not anti-vax at all. I'm just like, let it be my choice.
Right.
I mean, because if I have the vaccine, if I don't have the vaccine and you have the vaccine, you shouldn't be worried about me because you have the vaccine.
Right.
Well, just let it be people's choice. And so I respect Hamonic in that thing, that aspect. But for him to retire over it,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't like you said. What changed?
Yeah, I don't know. Like he signed a 2-year deal in July, and now we're in September in training camp, and now we hear that he might be retiring. Like, I don't. If something happened in his family or whatnot, we don't know the whole situation. But I mean, if he does retire, that's a huge
And it's
hole
his
on the
prerogative.
right
I mean,
side.
and you know what? If he retires, I'll respect the hell out of that because I know I know what kind of guy Travis Hamonic is. And he's a family man, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that if it makes sense, the reason he's retiring, but he obviously, if he's making that decision because of this, then he's ready to retire. And then that's fine. And that's fine. That leaves a huge hole in Vancouver, though, on the back end.
So I mean, Hamonic retires or doesn't play this year, and you sign Hughes and Pedersen. That leaves you on the back end with Hughes, Oliver Ekman Larson. You got Myers. You got Poolman. And I think Jack Rathbone's had a really good camp. Like I
I like
think,
Pullman, too. I like.
like is Poolman your is that Hughes' partner? Yeah, and now you're stuck with OEL Myers pairing on your second pairing. I don't know. Like
I
that
mean,
would, and then and okay, so you free up the money for Hughes. You give an extra $3 million to the pool of money to put towards those two, but you still haven't
still have
really
to fill that
replaced
spot, though.
Hamonic.
You have to fill that spot. You have to use that money to fill that spot, don't you?
Well, I mean
Or part of it, or part of it. You have to
I
use at least a
mean,
million of it.
they have Luke Shen as it say sign him as a depth D man. Like he's a solid sixth guy, I think. Like I think Luke Shen, like he should not be playing top 4 minutes, but could he be a capable third pairing guy to play with Rathbone? I think so.
I mean, I think he has the potential, but we shouldn't be sitting here wondering that
If
if you're safe.
okay, if Hamonic retires or doesn't play, it's time for Tyler Myers to play better.
He had to play better last year, Blake. Are you giving
He
shit?
honestly, like, okay, analytically, like I said, he wasn't that bad.
I know you always pull this analytical thing.
Analytically, like
How many
I
nights
hate
did you
analytics,
how
but
many
you look
nights did
at
you
his
want to
analytics
whip your
though, they
remote at
weren't
him?
that bad.
How many
But
nights did you want to throw the remote at the TV?
I'm a big eye test guy, and eye test tells me that
He sucks.
Tyler Myers is not very good.
I know. Same with me. That's why I am an eye test guy. Like,
But I
I don't
mean,
know. But so
okay,
let's
so going back to Pedersen Hughes,
yes.
I think Hughes if there was one guy I go long term with, I'd probably go with Hughes.
You would over Pettersson, huh?
Yeah, I think I would go long term with Hughes because defensemen like that you just can't find those guys anymore. I mean, like fast skating defenseman, dynamic, like there's not many defensemen that can skate like Quinn Hughes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like you said, centers are hard to come by, and Pettersson is a skilled player, very skilled player. But yeah, I think that as preseason goes on, I think the temperature is going to heat up in these contracts, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on both sides to get this deal done before the season starts, because you don't want Pettersson and Hughes at the Michigan Wolverines college football game. You want those guys in camp. You want them getting ready for the season. Like I don't want to say it's caused a distraction, but it kind of has. I mean, those players
even when you say it does, it's not gonna. It does. I mean, you're missing
those two players. Like the guys on the team follow Pettersson and Hughes on Instagram and whatnot, Twitter. They're posting pictures at the football game. If you're on the team, you're like, hey, like what the fuck's going on here? Like, what's the deal here? Honestly, if I was Bo Horvath, I would go up to Jim Benning and be like, hey, what is going on here? Like, we need these guys at camp and we need these guys signed.
But you can't overpay him though, Blake, though. That's the thing. That's the tricky thing. And Jim Benning, I know everybody in Vancouver wants to, hang him over the bridge right now, but you're going to hang him over the bridge if he gives him too much money, though, too.
Yeah.
Like, what if he's in a really crappy spot right now? Because what if we don't know. What if Hughes and
Benning made his bed though?
By having two good prospects?
No, by signing all those bad contracts.
So, yeah, but those are completely irrelevant to signing these two. So just because if you wouldn't assign them bad contracts, you'd be like, oh, well, I'll just give the farm to these two guys. No, you can't sign more bad contracts. I mean, really, what do you think they're worth? What do you think? What do you think they're worth?
Like I said, I give Pettersson 8.5 to 9.
For how many years? How many years? You give me 8.5 for how many years?
6 years.
Okay. And you'd give how much to Hughes?
Well, I mean, okay, so you look at the Makar deal. Makar did he get an 8-year deal?
I think so.
Let me look.
But Makar's way better than Hughes.
Hold on.
He's a point-a-game defenseman in his second year.
Makar just got
freak of nature.
He signed a 6-year deal.
Makar, so 6 years?
I think. Yeah, 6 years, 54 mil. Because he's getting 9 a year, okay?
Okay.
And then you look at
so Hughes shouldn't get 9 a minute.
You look at a contract that Rasmus Dahlin just signed at Buffalo.
6 years.
3 years, 6 mil.
6 million.
So I look at those two and say, okay, Hughes is somewhere in the middle there. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yes.
So you're looking at $7.5 to $8 million for Hughes.
I would not give Hughes more than 7.
Yeah, I think like 7 times 6.
Yeah.
7
but
years.
Why do I know nothing of this. Why do I feel like he's asking for 9?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any inside information, obviously.
Of those 3, let me ask you this question. And we're only going on speculation and gut. Of those 3, which one do you think is asking for the biggest money?
Of those, probably Tkachuk.
That's what I would say too.
Because he's the face of the franchise there, and they're going to give him what he wants eventually. I mean, you see the comments of his brother Matthew Tkachuk and said they're nowhere close. I mean, if I'm Ottawa, I'm a little pissed off.
Who cares?
But I mean, it is what it is. They're eventually going to pay him. I don't think if I was an Ottawa fan, I wouldn't be too worried about him being signed before the season starts.
You don't think so? You think he's the most likely to be signed first? Do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think he gets signed.
Honestly, I think they all sign before.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think because players don't want to miss games.
They don't, but they do. I mean,
I just don't see Pettersson, Hughes, and Tkachuk like as the holding out type players. Like I don't like for the season. Training camp's a different thing.
No, I
But
don't feel hold out for the season.
missing regular season games, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I know.
So
I don't know. It's a screwy deal. Like I don't know what to think. I hate holdouts. I hate it for the franchise. I hate it for the fan base. But like I understand it for the
But if
players.
you're Pearson Hughes, you're looking at like, okay, like we're the best players on the team, pay us rightfully so.
Sure.
And in Kachuk's case, you're the face of the franchise there. So I don't know. Tough spot to be in for these two GMs.
I can't wait to talk to you the day it happens because I got a feeling we'll see a text here soon. And yeah, it'll get figured out. I don't know. I just don't know where. I'm surprised they haven't got figured out. Number one, and I can't imagine what the ask is that's dragging this out so
Let
long.
me look at Vancouver's cap here. So they have
What do they have? Like 18? I thought they had 18.
They have 13.7 right now.
Really?
But that doesn't include Michael Furlan's LTIR. So 13 and a half. So they got 18 or sorry. They got 17.3 million to sign. Plus the $3 million if Hamonic opts out. So you're looking at 20.7.
Yeah, you can't hope Hamonic retires for this because you need
No,
him.
but I'm just saying that's a legit possibility now, I think.
Yeah.
Because if Hamonic didn't opt out of the bubble, I would have been like, oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna opt out. But like he has a history of doing this. So I don't know. That actually, like, as a fan,
Why
it
did he
pisses me
sign
off.
that contract?
Yeah, it just pisses me off. Like as a fan, like why were we signing this guy if he was thinking about doing that? Like, I don't know. Like I said, what changed? I'm not sure.
I don't know either. All right, Blake, time to go around the National Hockey League. All right. NHL television in the US. And I know this, you're going to be like, what are you talking about? Because you're not dealing with it. And that's why I wanted to talk about this in the show today. Because I don't know all the facts on this right now. I'm trying to figure them out. I'm making phone calls to try to figure this out. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of what's going on because you don't know. NHL TV no longer exists in the US. So you're your one-stop hop where you paid your $150 or $180, I can't remember what it was, and you got on and watched all the NHL games is no longer. Right. Now, out-of-market games are going to be played on ESPN Plus, which I pulled up ESPN Plus, and there's like the Canucks Kraken game was on last night. There's nothing tonight. There's 2 games tomorrow night. You know, there's a few preseason games, but I want to know, and if I think all the fans in the U.S. want to know, if I turn on ESPN Plus on a Tuesday night during the National Hockey League, am I going to get the option to watch every single game?
Yeah, that's weird that they pulled that NHL Live.
So, I mean, I can't imagine that the NHL would pull it and the revenue from it unless ESPN is saying they're going to cover it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like all the games are on ESPN Plus. Yeah. That actually, I think that is going to be the case. Because I don't think the NHL would have done that. I mean, with all the money they lost.
Here's my worry, though. Here's my worry. So you're going to have, premium games on ABC, premium games on ESPN and ESPN2.
NBC.
ABC.
Oh, ABC. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And
premium games on Turner Sports. They're doing like 50 some games. And then the rest is what people are worried about. Because what if you're let's put it from my perspective. If you're a Calgary Flames fan living in the States,
right,
are they going to have the Canadian market games on?
Yeah, it's tough.
That's the question I've yet to be answered.
Right.
Although I see Vancouver's game on last night, which was a Canadian game. So that I can't imagine the
Oh,
league would
hey,
go backwards.
how about this though? Vancouver is playing Seattle in Seattle's first ever game,
Mm-hmm.
and
It
that
wasn't
is
in Seattle
not
though.
on a single TV station.
It was in the States. It was on ESPN
Okay,
too.
but I'm
No, it
saying,
was on ESPN Plus.
in Canada, how is that
Yeah,
not on?
it was played in freaking Spokane. It wasn't played in their arena. They didn't have the setup for it. It was played in Spokane.
Okay, okay, okay. So you're telling me you can't take a US feed and put it on Sportsnet? They do it all the time, Brad.
I know they do. I'm just
They
saying
do
that.
it all the time.
Yeah,
They
I don't
take
know. I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense to me either. Well,
like
does it
Seattle's
make any
first
sense?
ever game. That should be if you're NHL, it's gotta be glued. That should be glued to TVs.
I mean, it was preseason, but in Calgary Edmonton last night wasn't on Sportsnet.
Yeah, but they're gonna fucking do the blue and white Leafs game on Sportsnet 1. What?
I know. Well, in the
Makes no
States, we had
sense.
on ESPN, we had the freaking New York Fire Department playing the New York police officers last week.
I know.
I'm, like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it, man.
Like Seattle's first preseason games, and on ESPN we got darts. That's great.
I,
That's great.
I don't know. I
Good
can't
stuff.
I can't imagine that the NHL would go backwards on their TV though. They've come so far. They've come
Yeah,
so far. I can't imagine they go backwards.
yeah.
All right, it's time to
Two
talk about. I've
nothing.
been
2-0 Canucks, by the way, if you're wondering.
perfect. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, but we haven't had the show to talk about. Well, I said no offer sheets were happening. You thought maybe there would be, and then there was. The offer sheet from Carolina Hurricanes to the Montreal Canadiens for Kokaniemi, a 1-year deal, 6.1000 point. I can't even say it. $6.1 million, $15, and a $20 signing bonus, and a tweet that matched the exact same tweet as the offer sheet for Sebastian Aho. What
Yeah,
the hell?
it was super petty.
So did you not think it was great though?
It was great. Yeah, I mean it.
It was entertainment for us. I mean,
It's
it gave us.
gonna. I'm definitely gonna probably watch the next Carolina Montreal game. That's for sure.
I know. You know what? We better pull that up on our calendars. That's going to be a good one.
Like Kokaniemi is gonna get the brakes boot off him when he goes back to Montreal.
You know what though? He got freaking sat in the playoffs, and I would be middle finger in the air if I was him.
Here's the thing though. Kokaniemi was getting offered 2.5 over like 3 years. If you get a 1-year, $6 million contract thrown in your face, what are you gonna say? No.
Exactly.
No shot. I'm saying no. I'm 21 years old. I'm gonna get paid $6 million a season.
Yeah.
Way overpaid, which tells me that Kokaniemi has a multi-year deal with Carolina in place for a lower AAV. They're gonna say, okay, we paid you $6 million, $4 million, what you are actually worth.
Well, they're probably taking the thing as like, all right, we'll waste $3 million just on the fact of doing this.
Right.
And then we're gonna pay him $3.5 million for the next 4 years after this.
Right. Yeah.
3.5
like
a year for 4 more years.
And then if you're Montreal, it's like, or if you're Carolina, is Kokaniemi really worth a first and third?
No, Montreal's going to win on this.
If you're Montreal, I mean, you take it and run with it.
I know, but it still has got to piss you off.
It's tough to lose a 21-year-old center who hasn't reached his full potential 100%. But, I mean, if Montreal got offered a first and a third in a trade for Kokaniemi, I think they would seriously consider it.
I don't know how you don't.
The thing that, like, I think it was the right decision not to match it, but what they used the money towards to replace Kokaniemi, I was like, I don't know. They went out and got Christian Dvorak.
I don't know if I like that deal.
He's his career high on points is like 37.
I know.
You trade a first and a second for him, the better of the two firsts. So what if that's a lottery pick?
It's gonna be.
You gave up a lottery pick for Christian Dvorak?
It's gonna be a lottery pick. I thought that was a horrible trade.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. It was petty on Carolina's part, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And
Highly entertaining.
I was actually on my way to BC driving with my dad, and I'm like, "You're not gonna believe what just happened." He's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Kokaniemi just got offshooted. Like this is like Montreal is not matching this." He's like, "Well, they got a match." I was like, "There's no chance Montreal is matching this deal. There's no chance."
Speaking of this, I just thought of something. Do you think there's any chance that somebody floats an offer sheet to Brady Tkachuk?
Everybody keeps asking me that Patterson's gonna get off sheeted. If one of those guys is gonna get off sheeted, I think it would already happen already.
I don't.
Okay.
I think there's a better chance of it now than ever. But the only thing that these teams have going for them is there's hardly any teams that could afford to do it because you have to have that cap space available.
Okay. Ottawa. Let's just look at people that can afford to offer sheet. The Rangers, maybe. None of those players are going to go there. Arizona, no. Columbus, no. Anaheim.
Anderson would go there in a heartbeat.
Where? Arizona?
No, to the Rangers.
Oh, I don't know. Anaheim, but they got to pay their young kids right away. Devils, no. Detroit, no. Buffalo, no. Ottawa, no. Like, dude, you got to look at two things. A, do they have the cap? And B, do they have the appropriate picks to do that?
So what if Detroit offer sheeted Hughes?
Yeah, the players got to sign there first.
I completely agree, Blake. And I'm not doing this to piss you off. I'm just saying.
They have their chance to pick Hughes. They picked Philip Zadina.
Well, I know. Now they could have
garbage.
Both. What about this? What if New Jersey offer sheeted Hughes?
Okay, what's next topic? We're not, dude. It's not happening.
Are you gonna die if that happens tomorrow?
It's not gonna happen.
Season 4, episode 1, and Blake's already been
3-0, baby.
All right, Seattle Kraken prepare for their inaugural season. We talked a little bit about it with the preseason.
Yeah.
Will it be a success?
Well, if I was you, I would pick them to do well because Vegas absolutely made you look silly.
They made everybody look silly. Like, don't give me this crap that I was the only person that said Vegas.
You still have to get a Vegas jersey if I remember correctly. I'll have to go back in the archives and check that out.
Oh, that's in there. There's a bunch of archives I could pull up on you though too. Can you name me the top 5 most successful teams in their inaugural season?
Vegas.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Top 5.
Yep.
Winnipeg when they came back.
That's not.
Does that count?
No, it's a team that moved.
Oh, true.
It's inaugural season, like a startup team.
Expansion teams.
I'll let you off your misery here. Number 2 was Florida. Number 3 was Philadelphia. Number 4 was Hartford. Number 5 was LA. All right.
Well, yeah, because LA got Gretzky, right?
No, they got Gretzky like freaking 10 years later.
Oh, okay.
69.
Oh,
hell, more than 10 years later. Yeah.
Oh,
69.
shit. I didn't know they'd been in the league that long.
All right. The NHL is said to be imposing stricter cross-checking enforcement. Will this happen? How long will it last?
Well, I hope it doesn't happen because that means we're going to get one-arm cross-checks. We're doing that too?
What do you mean? Like guys going like this?
You blow on somebody, you get a penalty now. So league is so soft. You literally tap somebody on the stick, you get a slashing penalty. The standards to be a ref, it's lower than ever because they just get told to call everything. Like,
I
I'm going to watch a
disagree.
couple preseason games here coming up, but I'm sure there's okay, prime example yesterday. Seattle scored 4 or 5 on the power play. There's like
I know
10
Edmonton
power
had
plays.
7 power plays.
So listen to this. Like, first 2 BCHL games, there's 25 penalties in 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like half the game is
It
shorthanded.
always starts out like that. The seasons always start like that, and then
it's like
2 weeks in, it peters away. Though
half the game is you're in the box.
I know 2 weeks in, it peters away. It does it every freaking year. They do this every year.
Man. I don't know.
2 things I didn't really want to talk about on the show, but we will talk about them for under 5 minutes. What's your opinion on the Eichel situation? Shouldn't he be allowed to do the surgery he wants to do?
I'm sure Jack Eichel was really not expecting to get stripped from the captain. Like, I that was a surprise to him. Like,
he won't play another game in Buffalo.
What is Buffalo even doing, stripping him of captaincy? Wait till after you trade the guy.
Well, obviously, wouldn't be captain then, Blake. But okay. I mean, what are you doing? Where are we going? So now we're just going to sit all year and fiddle fart and argue about if this surgery is the right surgery.
Okay,
so and what are we doing?
If you were Jack Eichel and you wanted, if I was Jack Eichel and I wanted to get a surgery that fixes me up, and so I don't have a risk of a reoccurring injury on my neck, but the team I'm playing for wants me to get a lesser surgery, and I have a chance to re-aggravate that injury in the future, but that team wants to trade you and is not going to allow you to get the surgery that you want. What team is going to take Jack Eichel right now for the price that they want when they don't even know he's healthy?
What?
He's going to miss half the year, Brad.
His asking price has got to be at an all-time low right now. Like, Buffalo's got to be
it's at an all-time high, or else he wouldn't have moved.
But they're not even going to get close to it. They're not even going to get close to it.
I would trade a first-round pick and 2 prospects. That's it.
I wouldn't even do that. I'd do a first-round pick and 1 prospect.
I don't know what they're doing.
So Buffalo's just going to keep paying him this money and not have him play. They've got it's something.
Why are they not letting him get the surgery in the first place?
I have no idea. I listened to the 31 Thoughts episode where they talked.
32 Thoughts. Come on, 32
It
thoughts.
just changed. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I know it was a one-sided podcast. I mean, and even Elliot said that. I mean, but it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer.
What is Buffalo's hold up here? Why you want to get the most for your player? Go let him get the surgery that he wants. The quicker that he does it, the quicker that he comes back. He's going to miss half the season. He's getting neck surgery.
Yeah,
he's going to be out till Christmas.
One other unmentionable I didn't want to talk about. We have to though is this Evander Kane situation. Does this guy just need to be out of the league? He always says none of this happens. None of this happens. Yes, Evander, it does. How about the unpaid parking tickets in Winnipeg? Because you didn't think you had to pay for them.
Hotels that he hasn't been paid.
He's a jackwagon.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
unreal. He's an embarrassment.
It's tough.
What's tough? Like this guy is a joke.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's such a talented player though too. It's just like it's unfortunate that he has to be this kind of person. I mean, he had 50 points in 56 games last year. Like he's still a really good player in the league, but he's just a dickhead.
Huh. That sums that one up. You ready for 3 questions, Blake?
Yeah, let's fire it up.
It's time for 3 questions.
All right, Blake. 3 questions. My favorite part of the show. You get to start it off this week. You get to do the 3 questions. I'll be back next week to do my 3 questions. Fire away. Go.
Okay, so Josh Archibald, who is a 4th liner in the NHL, is going to miss up to 30 games if he doesn't get vaccinated. What is he thinking here? Like,
it's his prerogative, Blake. You can't.
I don't understand. I don't understand a player in his position. If he gets cut, he's not like people aren't dying to pick up Josh Archibald. Like, I don't understand. I don't like. What do you think about
this? It's a personal choice.
So you're gonna just like give up your career?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's a personal choice. It's his decision to make.
All right. Okay. What team had the best NHL offseason?
I've thought a lot about that, and that's hard because what we think today might look really stupid a month from now. I think Philadelphia got better.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rangers got better.
You know who had a really good offseason too?
I think. God, don't. This is so yet to be determined though, because I think Vancouver got better.
Oh, the 100% they got better
if they get those other guys signed, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know who got a lot better and might be a sneaky team this year? The Chicago Blackhawks.
I knew you were going to say that. And I'm not buying in on that yet.
They're getting Taves back. They're getting Seth Jones, and you add a Vezina winner, Marc-Andre Fleury, into the fold.
I know. They're definitely
that's been the problem since Corey Crawford had those injury problems. Like, what are they doing in net? They go get Fleury now. Albeit it might be only for 1 year, but this year, it might be a playoff team.
They might.
I don't know.
I like them better than St. Louis.
Yeah, I like them better than Nashville, Arizona, and Minnesota.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
So that leaves you Winnipeg, Dallas, and the Avalanche.
Yep.
So
that's a team that got better. That's for sure. Definitely.
I don't know. Okay, last question. What remaining UFA are you surprised that is still available?
I don't even know, Blake. Devin Dubnyk, because I thought somebody would pick him up for a backup. Is that terrible? Dubnyk? Just because I know how goalies are, and like, I can't believe a team wasn't like, pick this guy up for $750,000.
I'm not going to say Tuukka Rask because I think once he's healthy, he's going to sign a cheap deal in Boston.
That's almost a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, I just look at like a guy. I mean, there's nobody big name UFA that's
even like Jason Demers is still a solid defenseman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know. And he'll probably get signed.
Who else? Zajac retired.
There's really nobody else.
Batman's still unsigned.
See, that's one I can't believe.
Like how this guy hasn't landed somewhere, it's actually crazy. I don't know.
He must have a really short.
What about Tyler Bozak? You're telling me there's not room on a $750,000 contract for a 4th line for Bozak? Guy that is excellent in the dot and kills penalties? There's not a spot in the league for a guy like that, really?
Yeah, I know.
Like not even a PTO even. Like I don't understand that at all. Guys won a Stanley Cup, like
yeah.
I mean, Devin Dubnyk, like you mentioned. Did James Neal sign a PTO?
Yeah, he's in freaking. He scored 3 goals for St. Louis last night.
He did.
Oh, he does that every preseason, Blake.
He's gonna score 40 goals this year now.
He does that. No, he does it every preseason. He does it every preseason. He did it in Edmonton. He did it in Calgary. He does it every preseason.
Hey, I know you like this guy in Calgary. What do you think of Toby Reeder?
I loved him.
Great penalty killer.
I loved that guy. When they didn't re-sign him last year, I was freaking pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed. He got 2 years though in Buffalo, didn't he? He's got a year left.
No, it says he's a free agent.
Well, maybe with these condensed seasons. I know he signed a 2-year.
Alex Chason signed with the Canucks.
Alex Chason, yeah. I mean,
hey, if Pettersson don't start the year at the team, they're gonna need some centers.
God, are you serious? Is Vancouver really gonna let that happen?
I hope not. I really do. I hope not. But I mean, you gotta prepare for that possibility because the season's right around the corner, and they're not in camp. So
yeah, you
I don't know.
You do. All right, Blake, a listener question for you. And it's really not a listener question. It's a question I came up with. And I thought I found it this summer, and I thought it was really fitting for you. And yeah. Would you rather what?
All right. One of these questions. All right.
All right. Would you rather have Carey Price's career, or would you rather have Marc-Andre Fleury's career?
In terms of what?
Their career. Would you rather think about it when they walk away from the game? Which of those two would you rather be?
Are we looking at total
everything?
Body of work?
Everything. Yes, their career, Blake. Everything.
Well, if you just look at it, Fleury's got the cups, right?
Yeah.
But Carey Price has 2 Olympic golds, World Cup, World Junior. He's got a Calder Cup. Carey Price has basically won everything except a Stanley Cup. I mean,
so I'm saying, would you trade the Stanley Cups for that other stuff?
I think I would. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Price's career. Honestly,
I would never trade a Stanley Cup for anything.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And I think more people would agree with me on
Fleury's cups, though, he wasn't even the goalie.
What? What did you just say?
2 of Fleury's cups that he won, he wasn't even the goalie.
I know, but
so that really yeah, Fleury's a 3-time Stanley Cup champ, but he was only the starting guy for one of them. You know what I mean? It still goes on your resume, sure, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, but I mean, there's a big asterisk next to that for me. You know what I mean? Carey Price, everything that he won that I just mentioned, Olympics, World Cup of Hockey, World Juniors, he was the guy. You know what I mean? Fleury kind of rode Matt Murray's coattails there a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I still don't think they would have got there without Fleury. I don't think.
No, 100%. But I mean, Murray was the guy. It was in net when they won. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
So.
All right, man. Another episode in the books. Season 4 underway. Yeah.
It's good.
Next week we're back with another live episode, and next week's one of Blake and I's favorite episodes. Because you know what we do? We do 10 crazy predictions. Blake gets 10 that he thinks will happen during the year. I have 10 that I think will happen during the year. We'll reveal those, and it is always a lot of fun. And usually some of our predictions are flat out crazy, hilarious. I don't know. They're everything. We're back the following week with our favorite show of the year, prediction show. Can't get better than that. Thanks for everybody tonight who joined in live. And yeah. Each week, hopefully more and more people pick it up and find it on social media and join us. And yeah, it's always fun. We'll get some listener questions over the year, and that should be a good time too. Make sure you check us out on YouTube at Inside Edge Hockey Media Group. And of course, get on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, subscribe, do all those things. Check out the new website at debatehockey.com. We're back next week. Another week of preseason hockey. We're back to talk hockey next week. See you then. Get connected to the Debate Hockey Podcast on all forms of social media. Follow the show on Twitter at Debate Hockey, and follow the hosts on Twitter at Brad Burud and at Friars_Blake. The Debate Hockey Podcast can also be found on Facebook, and check out the podcast website for all the current and archived shows at debatehockey.com. Get connected, stay connected for insight, opinions, and yes, controversy. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your hosts Brad Burud and Blake Friars. For more great content and to stay up to date, check out debatehockey.com and on Twitter at debatehockey. We'll catch you next time. This episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast was copyrighted and produced by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.